I hope we live. All right, let's see.
One thing I can tell you for sure is that we are alive. Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yo, Quake, we live? All right, we live on YouTube, man. Jesus, 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 man. Listen, after about an hour of technical difficulties, we are finally here. Kamard, what's up, my brother?
Hey, listen, it's only right if you think about it, bro. Think about the conversation that ensued between us about us doing just this. That was delayed too. So it's only
Yeah,
right that the
yeah,
start was
that's
delayed.
right. That's right. That's right. It's all been delayed. Well, it's good to see you, my brother. It's good to see you live on these YouTube streets.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, for having me on here and us, finally putting this project that we've discussed in our private conversations and bringing it live to the audience. So yeah, we here.
For sure, man. So listen, y'all. So along this trucking hustle journey, I've met many people, man. I've connected with such dope individuals, and a lot of these people have become family, man. That's the really cool part about my job is you get to meet people, and pretty much some become friends, some kind of you just catch them when you catch them, but some become family, man. And this brother right here has really become family over the last 5 years. Not just on a friendship level, on a business professional level, he supported the platform. And we just always talk. We've been thinking, man, like we have to do something together. We got to just do some content together, man. And I've been seeing you've been stepping your content game up. So I say, yo, man, let's get on YouTube and let's figure something out, bro. So what I want to do tonight is, number one, I want to catch the audience up with you and your journey and where things are with GTT, right? Because the last time we talked was was it 3 years ago? 2 years ago now? 2 or 3, right?
Well, if we consider Freight Fest when I
If we
spoke,
could,
but
yeah. Well, our the first episode that went crazy, by the way.
yeah, we thought it would. We thought it would.
we,
So
we knew it would, and it did.
right.
That first episode was like 2021 or 22, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So since then, you've had tons of growth. Plenty of things have happened in your world. So I want to catch the audience up with that. And then let's talk about the future, man. Let's just discuss what's going on and let's figure this thing out, man, and see where we can take it. So what's new in Kamar Johnson's life, bro?
Man. Well, that's a great
question. Start from the beginning.
Well, got some facial hair now,
Okay.
That.
Which is a great addition, by the way. A great addition. Yeah, I love it.
We done grew a little thing out here. We done let the hair grow a little bit, got little curls going on. They said the girls like the curls. So, we done went with that. And so far it worked out,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. But in all seriousness, the business has continued to thrive. And one of the biggest wins in the sale now, man, is just the leadership team. We have some incredibly phenomenal individuals that are really the engine that's driving GTT now, right? Obviously, I'm the face. A lot of people know and recognize me because of the podcast. And then on the local front, because of a lot of the community efforts that we deploy. But it's the team, man, that's really moving the needle for us. We've come up with some different things that we've introduced to the industry that are definitely trailblazing, I like to think. And so for the consumers or the truckers rather, that do consume us from a local perspective or even passing through, which a lot of them are truck and hustle alumni for sure.
For sure.
It's been great and their experience has been heightened. And really what we've done, Ramel, is we've taken an industry that has been so transactional. We've taken an industry that has been so lackluster in the sense of the treatment of truckers. And when we think about it, right, obviously it's a native thing for you. You get it because you're in that industry. But people who aren't per se, I don't think that the truckers really get the due that they're deserving of, right? And what I mean by that is the nurses, great, doctors, great, right? Police, EMT, fire, all of those people are great. But there isn't too many products that would be sold or bought, which is the same thing. But without truckers, none of that is happening. Right? That convenience isn't there that everybody has when they go to a grocery store or they go to a furniture store. All that stuff is possible to consume because of truckers.
Yeah.
And so, we've taken this industry in the 10,000 plus customers that we've been able to serve and shown them.
Damn, 10,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That's
we've
crazy. But
grown
go
from
ahead.
a different vantage point of how tire shopping, and tire purchasing can be, right? And that's been great, so overall, it's been definitely some growth, but with growth comes challenges, right? And that's the piece that I don't think a lot of people talk about, at least not in depth. And we pretty transparent about everything, man. And so it's definitely had hurdles. I mean, we've had turnover, we've had people take our playbook and go to some of the alternatives in the market to us. But one thing they don't understand is that we constantly scrutinizing the playbook and figuring out what we can continue to revamp and revitalize. And so it doesn't matter. I mean, we've had alternatives to us in the marketplace do some unscrupulous things to attempt to kind of cut us down from the knees. So it has come with challenges. I mean, even the financial piece, when you grow as fast as we've grown, again, being Inc. 5000, one of the fastest 5,000 privately held companies in America the last 3 years. I think it'll be a fourth this one. That growth cost, right? I
That's a
mean,
fact.
it doesn't happen by itself, right? You have to fuel it. And so when people see me and they're like, yeah, man, you done got big time now, man. You got 3 stores. I'm like, and that isn't even close to the case. I'm spread thin now. And so from a delegating perspective, other people are doing things that I used to do that, of course, they were accustomed to getting from me. And that's been a transition. And so, like you said, right, some of the people on the truck and hustle side that you've interviewed has become family. Some of the people, I won't say that they've become family on the customer side for us, but they've definitely become associates, and they've become people that I'm fond of, right? And I have a lot of respect for what they do. And so the handoff from, hey, Ramel, I can't take care of you in the way that I used to anymore. X, Y, and Z is going to take care of you in great hands. That's been a challenge. And so it's been a number of challenges with the growth, but all that I am accepting of, because I understand that it's par for the course. If you want to continue to excel, you just got to know that things are going to change, and not all changes are going to be comfortable. Not all changes are going to be fluid in the way that they come about. So you just got to be flexible.
Yeah. What are you most proud of, man? In the last 3-4 years. What's your most proud what's your proudest accomplishment?
Yeah, that's hmm. I'd say the biggest one would be right now that comes to mind. On the professional side, it
Yeah,
has
yeah.
been putting minorities and women in positions to excel from a corporate standpoint, if you will, in the professional workplace, without them having to shrink and minimize who they are to coexist in the environment, while also ensuring that I make it our business to create a company and an organization that truly does put its people and their financial and professional gain ahead of what the consensus and the status quo is, especially being an independently owned business, right? There's no outside funding here. There is no um, stocks or anything that's being traded, right? That's allowing us to, generate capital to be able to do the things that we do, far and above employer-employee relations. And so that would definitely be the biggest thing right now. It's a couple people, their biggest thing was they wanted to buy a house, right? And so to be able to not only pay them the type of money that would allow for them to do so, but also utilize the resources that we've amassed, whether that be realtors, whether that be lenders, to assist them with making that process the most efficient that it can be, definitely would be the biggest professional pride right now.
So it's fair to say that GTT has not pulled its DEI initiatives.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
what
Not
about what about personal, man? On the personal side, what are some achievements that you've been proud of in the last couple years?
Yeah, the biggest one is just being better, man, even down to this conversation and us finally being able to have this happen, honoring the commitments that I make to myself and I make for myself. And so, being trustworthy with my own self, because at the end of the day, I don't believe that anybody can trust me if I can't trust myself. And so, getting to a point where I really am prioritizing completion and efficiency, so much so that whatever I say, whatever that agreement is that I sign with myself, whatever it has to happen or doesn't have to happen for that to come to fruition, I'm not bargaining with that anymore. And so, really, really looking at myself to know that I could be better. and doing the internal engineering of work necessary to actually be better. That's the piece that can be a struggle for sure, and it has been for me. But that would right now be the biggest thing that I'm most prideful about on the personal side.
Yeah. So my goal with this, man, I think we share this is, we want to kind of bring value to people on the business, the professional side, as well as just the self development side, and just being a better person, being a better leader. And I think that is, we're both entrepreneurs, and it's great to have these kind of conversations, but really be able to get down into the nitty gritty and talk about, like you said, those challenges and the things that we kind of go through on a day to day kind of basis. Because everybody talks about the good, and everybody sees the growth, and everybody sees just the wins, but we very rarely talk about what it takes to kind of get there, and we rarely talk about the failures, right? So that's kind of what I want to do with this segment as we kind of develop it out, and we'll figure it out as we go along. I want to bring some other people up here, but I think I think we have a good chemistry in terms of the way we kind of the way we articulate ourselves and the way we kind of present, and we'll be able to kind of get those stories out there to the world, man. So for you in your personal branding, because I've seen that personal branding has been a big thing for you recently. What is that about, man? Why are you stepping out of the shadows now and really trying to develop yourself as a personal brand as opposed to just a tire guy?
The title. Boy, isn't that quite the title? Yeah. So in private, Ramel, I can't tell you how many people that either come to me in the sense of outreach to get my perspective on things and or assistance, and then people that I do that for already. And it has become a scenario where, once again, right, being efficient, being about completion, looking myself in the mirror and knowing that I have not been honoring my commitments to the organization, to my brother and mother who believed in me enough to give me this opportunity to be a CEO, right? To the team members who have signed on and taken jobs here, right, positions with us, to then cast their efforts, their sacrifices, their energy, their attention to further the vision and the mission that we have. It's only but so much time that I can deploy for a lot of things, right? And so I figure one of the ways that I potentially can still be of help, because that is so near and dear to me as an individual of what brings me fulfillment. I'm like, I just got to create more content, because now that's one to many without me necessarily having to actually pick up a phone call or have an in-person meeting with somebody to still deliver value. And a lot of these people, they're reaching out to me with their scenarios. So a lot of the content that I'm making is really answering their questions. And
Yeah.
I'm of the mindset that it potentially will be of value to other people as well that may be in that same position that I don't know who it may happen to come across their feed. And so, like, even on the tire side, man, I can't tell you, it's so many people that have been reaching out, man. They were inspired by the video that we did, right?
Yep.
They
Yep.
get the story better than me. They telling it to me like it's their story. And I'm like, man, that's like beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, man. So that inspired us to get into it, or I got into it and it was going well, and then now things aren't going so well. Like, help me, get it back on track and things to that degree. Or people that are just like, yo, man, I would like to get into the business. And so now I've created a community for, tire entrepreneurs. And so, for those folks that
Hold up, have you? I didn't know about this.
yeah,
Hold on, this is breaking, man. When did you do this, bro?
on the official standpoint,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Okay. And what's it called?
Tire Business Accelerator.
Tire Business Accelerator. All right.
For sure.
Well, give me the details. Where's it? What platform is it on? How do people become a part of it? Tell me about it, man.
Yeah, we housing it on School.
Okay.
The platform Homozy.
Homozy up.
Yep. So we housing it on School, man. And even if you don't have the interest, for whatever reason that you feel like that would be a benefit to be a part of the community, where you are having weekly one-on-one calls with me, where it's just more in-depth material that we're sharing around things that you can do. I also have a free newsletter, man, where we're just giving value on, again, different things that you can do within the business if it's already existing and you're looking to scale it, or if you're looking to start things to really get in order, perspectives to have on how to go about a lot of things. And so It's free content. Again, if it's of value to anybody and they feel like they're interested in it and they would want to learn from somebody who not only has done it at a high level, for their family and themselves, but obviously from a third party validation standpoint, when you got Inc. magazine recognizing you, for the type of growth that we've had, and obviously we're doing some things right and we're doing some things different. Because when you think about the industry of tires, particularly on the commercial side, Ramel, it's a very fragmented industry, but it's a very historic industry. I mean, you got some companies that have been in business 100 plus years, man.
That's a fact.
You're not even 100 years old. And so to be able to be on this list in an industry where you do have players that have that type of tenure under their belt, and the resources and, the large businesses that they do have, again, I like to think that what we've been able to achieve speaks for itself. And then obviously, somebody like yourself giving us the ability to come on your platform earlier in the making of this journey that I've been on with my brother, since coming aboard, and letting us speak about what we have going on. I'm just ever so grateful to you for that, because a lot of this really has spawned out of that, because again, so many of these people, have reached out as a result of that. I mean, I didn't know these people, yeah, so
I don't know these people.
I don't know these people.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's been amazing, man. And, we're really helping some people out, and again, that brings me fulfillment. And so, yeah, through the content that I'm just putting out on the personal side, and then now
Yeah.
having this community, that's really the best way to get assistance from Kamard, if that is what you're seeking. Because whether it's commitments like this with you, my brother, on this
Yep.
type of scenario, and then all of the things that I am doing on my side individually, I just and really also obviously owning other businesses, right? I'm involved in a lot, man.
You are that you don't even talk about, bro,
Yeah, bro.
at
I'm sitting
all.
with boards, a lot of the nonprofit and community stuff that we're doing. And so a shameless plug that I definitely gonna put out there. I'm not the guy that ever does this, but I'll do it right now. I'm actually going to be running the New York Marathon, man, New York City Marathon this year, November 2nd.
That's what I running is about on your social media. You've been training.
No, really, what it is, brother, is, so for what it's worth,
I know you ain't got to lose weight. I mean,
not,
I don't know what else is for.
no condemnation against nobody that's partaking in any of these things, but I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't, no pills, no nothing, right? So for me, running is that outlet, that release that gives me that that ability to recharge, man, with everything that I do juggle. That's my escapism.
Yeah, it's your outlet.
I'm out there. I don't have nothing with me but my thoughts and my willpower. Running long distance is a challenge in and of itself, physically and mentally, emotionally. So that's why I've been running. But because I am running, and then I got looped in with, a group that is, they're looking to raise money for rare blood cancers, right? Like leukemia,
Okay.
lymphoma,
Yeah.
again, near and dear to me. So I was like, yo, like, how can I be a part of this? How can I help? And so, yeah, running the New York Marathon to raise money for that. So anybody that want to, do a great thing and, put some money towards something that really does need that type of funding to continue to pioneer research, to figure this thing out, man, to help out so many people that are suffering. Yeah, man, I'd be grateful for your donation.
That's dope, bro. And what day is that? When's the marathon?
November 2nd. It's a Sunday.
Okay. Okay. And how long is the marathon again?
26.2. Yeah.
26. What's the longest you run so far?
18 and a half.
Oh man, so you good. You ready?
Well, I've actually, a lot of people don't know this, but yeah, I haven't ran in probably 2 months, man. I had a little setback with my Achilles. And so I've been taking it easy, just kind of rehabbing it. But I'm actually going to try it out, test it out on this Saturday and see what I'm working with.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we got the community, which is a surprise to me. So just for clarity, that is for people who are in business or people who are looking to start business, or both, the tire business.
Yeah, specifically tire business. If you're looking to start and just get into it and really want to have that blueprint and that roadmap to minimize mistakes, to expedite your success, right? Works. And then obviously if you're in the tire business, but you're looking to scale it, you've hit that ceiling and, you just haven't gotten over a certain amount of profit, a certain amount of revenue, for a couple of years or what have you, or you're just kind of bumping your head up against the wall and not sure how you can innovate. Yeah, we definitely can help you either way.
Got it. Okay. And this stream was not at all about that for anybody just joining now, or whatever. But we gonna talk about it anyway, because anything my man is doing, we gonna make sure we support it and we make sure we put it out there. All right. So what's exciting to you right now, man? Because we're both business owners. There's so much going on in the news, so many different things happening, from a political point of view, globally. There's a lot of things happening in the news cycle. What is interesting to you? Let's start there. What interests Kamard right now?
You know, you might not like this answer.
Hey, any answer you give, I'm sure I love it. Talk to me.
Because for starters, audience, none of this is pre-rehearsed, recorded.
Not at all. Not at all.
We haven't even caught up in a while. So
that's right.
What I'm interested in, honestly, yeah, right now, doing this call with you and where I find myself from an interest level in my personal life. I know a lot of people know you for Mr. Truck and Hustle, right? Bringing this platform and bringing people on it to spread awareness to their scenarios and what they got going on. And that's something I've always admired about you, is the selflessness that you do this show with. I don't know if a lot of people know that about you, brother. Like, while there is monetization opportunities that obviously stem from any enterprise or endeavor that is for profit, I know you genuinely do this from your heart and really having affinity and respect for the trucking professionals. But I want the world to know more.
I know where this is going.
That I'm selfishly interested in, but I think it could be a benefit to a lot of other people.
For sure.
It's somebody who has aspirations to be a father, right?
Okay.
You got
you turn the corner on me. Let's go.
You have two beautiful daughters that I know for sure that you love, right? They're
absolutely
smart, they're hustlers just like you, just like their mother. And so what I would love to know, what I'm most interested in right now, is talk to the world about Ramel the father.
Man, Ramel the father. So that's a great question. I'm glad that you went there, because at the end of the day, that's what's most important, right? Family. Before anything professional, it's all about family. So who is Ramel the father, man? Ramel the father is, number one, a work in progress, right? Because I'm always striving to be better. I'm very hard on myself because I don't think I'm the best father that I can be. My father was my father just passed away, by the way, last year in April. And he was a man's man, get up every morning, 6 a.m. He worked in Manhattan. He would, go to work. Well, man, he got up early than that, probably 4 or 5 a.m., be to work at like 7 a.m. because we're living in Jersey. He's going to work in Manhattan. And, he just would, I saw him get up and go to work every day. He worked hard. He was an IT professional, one of the first probably in that career field. He was been an IT professional for probably 50 or so years when computers were just came to be, before it was a, normalcy in this world. And I saw him work hard, at the same time, although he provided for us very well. We grew up, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. Then I moved to Central Jersey at a pretty young age. And he provided for us as a family really well. But, my father and I didn't really have the relationship that I would have necessarily wanted to a certain extent, right? Because, he didn't teach me a lot of things that I wish that I could have learned from him, right? And that was because he didn't have a father, right? So he didn't have the talks, or he didn't really know how to necessarily talk to his son because he didn't have a father that talked to him. His father didn't die, but he was out of his life he might as well have been dead because he wasn't around. But his mother passed away when he was 8 years old. So he was pretty much raised by his uncles. So communication was something that was very difficult for him, and he didn't really know how to communicate. And so he, being a father for him was just being there, right? Just being present, taking care of everybody, making sure the bills were paid and all that. And anything I needed as a kid, he was there for me. But when it came to having those discussions, those talks about the birds and the bees and how to be a man and how to hold the door open for a young lady, or, relationships, we never had those discussions. And he probably had that inside of him, but he never got it. So he wasn't able to pass that on to me. So that's a cycle that I always wanted to break as a father. So I try my best to be vigilant about doing those things, but I'm still not great at it because it's not inherent to me. It's not something that I got as a child. So I don't do it naturally. So I have to be very conscious of that. And I have to be proactively doing that, right? It's not a natural thing. So that's why I'm hard on myself, because I always feel like I could be doing a better job. But if you ask my daughters, they love me. They probably think I'm the greatest dad in the world. But I know that there's more work to be done, and there's more things that I could do to just help them. And I have girls, right? So my wife carries a lot of that, a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm just really there to support and enforce, kind of the things that she says, because a man can't raise young ladies, right? I'm just there to like say, yeah, listen to your mom, and just tell them whatever I can tell them from my perspective about the pitfalls as it relates to dealing with men and so forth, and just letting them know that, putting them on a pedestal, man, and just letting them know that they deserve, they're deserving, they're young queens, and they deserve the world, right? So just creating that environment for that, and just leading by example the best I could. But ultimately, as a father, I just say I'm a work in progress, man. I want to be better every day. A part of this business is a part of doing this, right, was to have the time to be able to spend more time with the fam, right? Because, it's something I could do kind of anywhere in the world. I kind of own my time a little bit. It's flexible. I could record kind of on my own schedule. My family travels with me everywhere we go, as you know, right? You see us at conferences, we're all together. If we're at other people's events, we're together. So when we came to record you, right, my wife was right there, right? So like we're always together, we roll together, and that's kind of lifestyle that I always wanted to create for myself, and I'm blessed to be in a position to be able to do that. So it's been dope, man. But I guess that's the answer. And I don't even know if I answered your question, but because I didn't expect it, I wasn't prepared for that at all. But I think that's who I am, man. A work in progress, somebody who's always striving to be better, somebody who's trying to break generational curses and learn from and be a better father than my father was to me. And not that my father was a bad father, but he just didn't have the tools, right? So and because he didn't have the tools, he didn't pass down the tools to me. So now I have to go and I have to develop these tools kind of like on my own and learn about, these things, and do as much research and educate myself as much as I can, so that I'm able to then pass that down, to the next generation. So yeah, that's my long-winded speech, man.
And so the reason I went there, right? Several, but one notably for me, my father was never present in my life, right? And I know that it's no excuse, but it is a circumstance that does mightily change things in the upbringing of a young child. Young daughter, young son, doesn't make a difference. My mother did a phenomenal job with me, 100%. And so, as somebody who aspires to be a father himself and to parent in the way that, of course, I subjectively see fit, there's a lot of things that I know for sure will go into it. The lack of the presence of my dad, the presence that my mother had, and her being like a superhero to me, right? And then having a similar situation as yourself. Same with me. When you came with your wife, which was great and dope, my wife was with me.
That's right.
Like I moved the same way when I came to Freight Fest. My wife with me. Everywhere I travel, my wife's with me, except for that one video that I posted some weeks back when I went to New York for a quick day trip, and
Yeah.
nightmare. That's what happens, right? Like she brings so much stability, order, structure, convenience to my life. And like when you reference the work in progress thing, that's how I feel about being a husband right now, with the different endeavors that I'm involved in, and knowing the amount of time and dedication that is requiring, and investment that is requiring, energy that is requiring. A marriage is just as demanding. It has those same needs. And so juggling all of that, and then on top of that, you have two daughters. I'm like, whoa, right? As somebody who, again, we having these active discussions about, what it's going to look like for us to parent children together. And that's why we don't have them at this very moment in time, is because I don't feel like I'm even giving her the type of time that I would ideally want, right?
Yeah.
Not something that she makes me feel bad about, not something that she, expresses as an issue, but it's something that is a self issue of, I know I could be better here, right? And so looking to orchestrate things to get it to that point. and then just wanting to extract from you what gems, what tried and true framework you're utilizing to be present in your daughter's life, to be a present husband, and then to obviously be the businessman that you are, right? And when you talk about businessman and then you talk about the media side, that's a whole nother element added in.
That's a fact.
So that's why that question came to me when you said what I'm most interested in right now. It was just timely talking to you in this situation that I do admire and acknowledge about your scenario, that for the marriage piece has some similarities to ours. And then knowing, that we have every intention to be parents. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm interested in, man. Because the business stuff, all that stuff gonna come and go, man. The money
That's right.
gonna come and go, these awards, all that stuff is it's fine and dandy, but ultimately it's not where the real substance is for individuals like you and I. I know that.
100%.
It's like, yeah, man, that family element, that child, that wife element, it's like, okay, that brother element, that mother element. It's like, okay, how do I continue to not just say it, but show these people in my actions that they are special to me? You
Yeah.
understand? And you're somebody that's doing that. So I'm like, knowing that that's the next phase for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take whatever gems and advice I can get from you.
Listen, I got a lot. I could drop them all day.
Yeah, I won't.
Check it out. Check it out. So here's a question I have for you. How intentional was the decision for you to make sure that you bring Brianna everywhere with you? Like, is that a discussion that you guys had beforehand, or is it just happenstance that she just happens to be with you? Or did you guys actually say, you know what, when I'm on the road, when I'm traveling, I'm going to make sure I bring my wife? How intentional was it? And tell me what that discussion was like.
Phenomenal question, because this is a great story, I think. So I went to St. Lucia with my brother. I don't remember the year. Maybe it was, I don't remember the year. I'm not even gonna try to make that. I don't remember. But we're there. And I promise you, Ramel, we fly, we get in the vehicle that transfers us from the airport, because out there there's no Airbnb, I mean not Airbnbs, Ubers, none of that. So we're in like a taxi kind of drive. We get to the hotel, we get checked in, and I promise you, bro, I put my bags down in my room, and the first thought was, man, I'm ready to leave. Because immediately it was very apparent to me that I was without my best friend for the first time for an extended period of time. And that just, it weighed on me, man. I mean, literally, I talked to her practically the entire trip. I didn't even enjoy it. I didn't even enjoy the place. Yeah. And that's when I knew, I was like, no, we have to travel together, like 100%. I'm not one of those husbands that I look for an event or
a way out.
Yeah, to get away. Like, it's the exact opposite for me, man. I have to have her around me, man. Like, because she really does. I mean, she's my best friend, man. Like, she brings so much completion to me in ways that, and I wouldn't even say completion, compliment, to me in so many ways, man, that it is. I'm telling you, I feel like our relationship is so fairy tale, man. And that's why, like, now when I talk to young brothers, or even young sisters, man, I'm like, I promise you it's a real thing. Coming up in the community where arguing and sometimes even the domestic violence to a physical degree, I think subconsciously can be viewed with the parties involved in the relationship. Oftentimes, Ramel, in our community, my subjective take, it can be seen as an expression of love. And it's like, yeah, like this is
wild.
Like, I feel for you because I'm doing these things, which then consequently brings more justification and more occurrence to it, right?
Yeah.
And for a long time, I really was under that impression in my own relationships where it was like, if we didn't argue, I was like, yeah, this not right, because for me, the visual expectation was set that is what the norm was in relationships. And to be in this relationship with Brianna, man, where we don't argue, you know what I'm saying? Like, where we are so on the same page, and not because anybody has minimized their perspectives, not because anybody has conceded their beliefs. Like, we genuinely are that in sync. Oh my goodness, brother. It's like, it's a real thing. Yeah. And so I really like to display and illustrate to people that, man, there are relationships that exist where there isn't all of that back and forth and that contentious type of tenor. And the people are madly in love with each other. The people are really in sync. They're connected. They complement one another. And I'm just ever so grateful to have that. And so for me, understanding that we don't control this thing called life in the sense of our expiration date or when our ticket will be punched, I am of the mindset that I want to spend as much time with the people that, again, I deem special to me. And so whether that be my brother, and us being in business together, that was one of the driving forces for me to uproot myself from the financial industry and come and do something that I totally had no interest in. I honestly, at first. And then, same thing with my wife. I was like, no, everywhere I move, I need you with me. Unfortunately, she's game for that, right? So again, it's not like a coerced or forced situation. And then even with my mom, I'm making my business to go and see my mom every day because again, you just don't know, bro, when that thing is gonna be expired. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the story, man. That's how we came about far as traveling together, like all the time, every time. My wife's with me, man.
Yeah. So in 2021, 2022, I started traveling a lot. Like, because we were really just on the road doing the pod, right? We're everywhere. We're in Texas. We're in, Georgia. We're in LA. We're just all over the country shooting this content. And at first, sometimes I travel by myself, like with the team, like myself and Kwaku, and we travel together, and because we just like we handling business. And then I kind of had that same thing where it's like, damn, I miss my baby, right? But and it's funny, like we're so weird, bro. Like we would literally like sleep on the phone together. Like that's
Same.
how weird we are.
Yeah,
Like, we go into the hotel room. We're like, hey, babe, we go on the phone, go to sleep and wake up this 8-hour call. You
bro.
know what I'm saying?
Ear burning,
Air
phone shot.
burning. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So that's how we get down. So, if anybody out there thinks that's wild, that's just how we rock.
yeah.
But we actually had a conversation about it, like, and intentionally made a decision that we need to travel together for a couple reasons. Number one, it just shows us moving as a unit, as a family, right? And that's how we want to present, right? We want to show people that number one is possible, right? There's no excuses. You can make it happen if you want to make it happen, to move with your family, move as a unit. And when Truck and Hustle and the Truck and Hustle team is shown, and when we're active, we want to be recognized as a family unit. Like you see my wife, you see the kids. So we thought through that and said we're gonna make it, our intention to make sure that we're always together. And next, just for the marriage sake, right? Because when you put yourself in positions to potentially, do things that could be just adverse to your marriage, you opening the door for the devil to play.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, every man has their own willpower or whatever the case may be and all that. But when you open that door and you put yourself in position, you never know what could happen, bro. And not even that something could happen. It's that you have somebody at home just wondering what could be happening. It's not good for the marriage ultimately, right? To have your wife at home waiting on you and you're, a couple states away, thousands of miles away. And, even though she trusts you, it's eventually it sets in like, what's going on or whatever. So in order to just alleviate all that, it's like, nah, we don't need any of that contention coming into the marriage. We're going to make sure we just roll together. So it was a very intentional move that we made. And now if I have to travel without her, it's very, very seldom that it happens, but it's like a quick day trip or whatever. We making moves, we in and out. And, man, it's love. And on top of that, for me, just the organization piece, man, like I'm so unorganized, last minute, I forget everything, so she's always reminding me and bringing the things that I need before I even know that I need them. So it's just like having her there is just amazing, bro. It's like, it's nothing better than that, bro. So I feel you 100%.
Yeah, man. We're on the same page about that.
I feel you 100%. So talk to me. We talked about kids. So what is for you right now, what would be your biggest fear about having children in today's day and age? Or do you have any fears about it?
The biggest concern that I grapple with, and my wife and I, we discussed this on numerous occasions. For me, again, being an individual who really wants to be beneficial. I want to have positive deposits on any conversation or any interaction I have with anybody, especially if it's people, that are near and dear, right? And so grappling with, do I have enough information that I also have enough resolve, enough poise, and enough intelligence to be able to deliver in a digestible way to a child to make a positive imprint and deposit on their life. Because the way that I see parenting, in my opinion, it is the most selfish thing that a human being can do, because no child asked to come here.
Mm.
There's no participation that they can have, none of us have had, to be in existence. And so to aimlessly have to engage in an activity that can lead to life that you are responsible for to a certain extent, I'm like, yeah, we got to be real cognizant about that, right? And so for me, I'm like, okay, knowing that we're bringing these children to this world, I want to make sure that I really have things of value to give them, man, because it's only going to be a small moment of time before their life is 100% theirs, meaning we're out of it now.
That's
And
right.
therein lies where I challenge a lot of parents, because I have these type of conversations, Ramel, where it's like, you see a lot of parents derive a lot of pride from positive achievements that their children have had, right? But then when you flip it on his head, and perhaps let's just say the child has done something that they quote unquote don't agree with, or I didn't raise them that way, right? You hear that a lot when it's
For sure.
the child went out here and committed armed robbery, or anything that again is not held as a positive act, right? I don't know where he got that from. Oh, it wasn't from me. We didn't raise him that way. And then I just see a separation of interest in the child's life when those kind of things are apparent, versus when, oh yeah, my son is the senator of Wisconsin. Yeah. Oh, and then a lot of parents derive, in my opinion, self-worth and self-esteem from the achievements of their children, and they aim to take a lot of credit for it oftentimes, whereas again they don't take the same blame when yet again the child may have done some things that they aren't in agreement with from a belief standpoint or what have you. And all I'm saying to illustrate my point of saying all of that is that every child at some point will become an adult, and their life is 100% their life. Their choices are their choices. Their decisions are their decisions. And we want to be parents that are as judgeless as possible when it comes to whatever they choose to do, Ramel. And so leading up to that, I am grappling with, do I have enough information at this time? Do I have enough maturity? Do I have enough communication skills to deliver information to these children that they can then take value with, right? And then go out and lead their lives. And whatever they do with it, they do with it. But that's the thing that I would say is not a fear, but is a concern, is, do I have enough poise? Do I have enough communication skills? Do I have enough information of value, like real value, not this fluff stuff, like real life experiences? Have I gotten to a point where I can disseminate what my life experiences have been and be able to give them the cliff notes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's the biggest part for me, because again, man, we're bringing people into this world, or essentially we're bringing humans that will then become people in society in this world. And I feel like we do have a responsibility to really care about what that environment is that we shape, or we go about shaping them, man. It's important, but also having the removal from, yeah, you got to do it this way, because there's more than one way to get to the same answer, right? Like if we solving for 12, man, you got 5 plus 7, you know what I'm saying? You got 6 plus 6. There's a lot of different ways that you can get to that. So yeah, that's the concern that I have, that I grapple with.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever have the enough information, bro. I don't think that even exists, because you don't know the cards that are going to be dealt, right? So it's like you're planning for an outcome that you don't even know. You don't even know how it's gonna, how it's gonna come to fruition, right? So it's like you can prepare as much as you think you can, but you don't know what's going to be thrown at you and how you're going to have to kind of deal with it. So, and what you're saying is 100% right. At some point, your child is going to have to become an adult. They're going to make their own decisions. And there is going to be a moment, or there could be a moment, where you say, I did not raise them like this. Because you know what I'm saying? Because that's a real thing. Like, you really, like you said, you do take, you all the highlights and all that. You want to take all of that, and it's a beautiful thing, right? But there are times where it's like, yo, this is not what I taught you. This is not what we discussed. This was not this was not in the playbook. You know what I'm saying? And that's because everybody has free will, and people just are who they are, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And sometimes you just have to come to terms with that, man, and just accept it for what it's gonna be, because your kids will surprise you, man. And that's another thing. Like, you can't ever think like, my child won't do that. Correct. Right? Like that's not a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be open to the fact that, they might do that. You know what I'm saying? And all you could do is make those positive deposits, like you said, into them and pour into them. But at the end of the day, they're going to make their own decisions, and you don't know how that's going to turn out, man. And, that's just something that it's life, bro. It's life. You'll be surprised sometimes. They'll surprise you, but hopefully they won't. Hopefully they won't.
And that's why I'm glad we're having this discussion, because obviously, right, I am not a parent. So that's that vantage point and perspective that I don't have, and the only vantage point I'm really speaking from, more so than just like what can appear to be my personal beliefs on it, which has really just come about of being shaped by my own parenting experiences, and then obviously other people's who I've been able to see from observation. And, I just think the same way that the community and police relations can stand some improvement, I think relations between children and parents could stand some improvement as well. And so, as I'm not yet a parent, I'm constantly looking at, how it all shapes out, and the relationships that I have had the privilege of being able to know a little bit about what's going on, and just looking to, I'm not gonna say perfect, but just have a framework there, man, that does take all of the evolution that has taken place, and take all of the experiences that I have and will continue to amass, of people like yourself and others that are parents, and then also talking to the children, right? Those who have been parented as well, and just looking to fuse all of that together to put myself in the best position to be the greatest father that I can be, which ultimately is the end goal for me with this whole conversation, this whole outlook that I have on it. And so, constantly putting that thing under the microscope, man, to just continue to improve upon it. Uh, you know.
What do you think the world's gonna be like, though, man? I mean, for your kids, outside of like, just what we're talking about now. Like, what do you think the world will look like in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? What type of world are my kids will be grown? They're gonna be grown as hell by then, but yours will be still coming up in this world. Like, what will the world look like for them?
My subjective opinion,
Yeah.
I think we will find ourselves in a world where humans and technology become intertwined. I think we will see relationships where human beings are in relationships with humanoids, robots per se. I think.
And when you say relationships, you mean like relationships?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think full blown out marriage, and I really think about it, and and that's the beautiful thing. Yeah, look.
Okay, keep going. I like this. Go ahead.
I think that this is going to become the essence of the beauty of this collaboration, right? Because I think this is going to give both of us a medium to speak out on different, not speak out, but just express different things outside of just traditional business talk, right?
That's right.
So think about this. Magazines, right? Playboy back in the day. Think about Playboy itself.
Yeah.
Then you think about it escalated to the blow up dolls, right? All of that stuff has had traction. Now, when you talk about what appears to be a beautiful woman, an attractive man that is internally a machine, Man, I am very much so of the belief that yeah, that thing is gonna garner a lot of interest.
I
And
agree. I
and
agree.
you know,
It already has emotionally,
yeah,
right? Because there's already a ton of people, way more than you would think, that already have relationships and are enmeshed with robots at this very moment as we speak, that are having literal relationships with AI and are, dealing with them like they're a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, what have you. And there are people who are like literally like on a day to day having these AI relations. Like you said, all you gotta do is put that inside the skin and take it to the next level, right?
yeah,
To the reproductive level,
yeah.
right?
Right. And so look, then a lot of the platforms right now, a big push are the avatars that are,
Yep.
artificially created. They look like real people, they talk like real people. Obviously, they have the intelligence inside of them downloaded. They're just like a real person. And some of these are some of the biggest accounts on a lot of platforms. And people are engaging with it, even though they know that it's not a human like you and I.
Yes.
So when we think about 10 years from now, I think we're becoming desensitized to it.
Yes. And we don't even realize it.
Correct. Because it's in the form of entertainment and convenience. Right. And so you take that narrative and then you look at the Neuralink and, got chips in our head. And so that's where I'm talking about the interconnectivity now. A lot of humans will operate no different than our iPhones or our computers or a Tesla vehicle, where it's getting upgrades and it's getting updates to combat with new scenarios. I think a lot is being pushed on society. And again, because it's in the form of entertainment, but because it's in the form of convenience, you do have some people, real talking heads on these matters, way more smarter than myself. But I really believe that it's shaping up for that, Ramel. I think we're going to have such an interconnected world where, it's not even going to be a separation of humans and robots. It's just going to be the thing where it's like when the transition happened from horse and buggy to the actual first vehicle. Of course, it was a lot of backlash at first, but when something becomes mass appeal, people just fall in line, Ramel.
That's right.
How it works.
That's right.
How many people, maybe 3 to 4 generations from us in age that, oh no, I don't want no smartphone. Oh no, I'll never be on social media. Some of the biggest users of social media is grandma.
Listen, bro, I was thinking to myself the other day, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I remember when it was like taboo for a man to take a selfie. Right? Think about that. Like if a man like that was looked at as something feminine
Correct.
to do.
Correct.
Like a man wouldn't just go like posing for a selfie,
Yeah.
right? But now that sounds stupid coming out of my mouth right now, right?
Yeah.
But literally like 10 years ago, if a man was taking a selfie, other men would probably look at that man as not masculine. Because why are you so into yourself that you'd want to take a selfie picture of yourself and you puckering up your lips and doing all that? You adding filters to your face.
Yeah.
You in essence, you're putting on virtual makeup.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But now this is commonplace.
Yeah.
To where it's very accepted and very, very normal.
Yeah.
But but not too long ago, to your point, you looked at it like, yo, what are you doing, dude? Like you taking selfies, you putting but now that's normal. So little by little, it's just, just a little bit here, a little bit there. And like you said, it becomes common. How often you use Chat GPT?
I'm playing with it. I would say weekly.
I'm not playing with it. I literally it's my best friend. Chat GPT is my best friend, my lawyer. I use it to break down contracts. I use it to give me ideas. I ideate with Chat GPT.
Yeah.
I use it for content. I literally come on, anything I think of that comes to my mind, I literally named my Chat GPT and I talk to it like it's a buddy. Like, yo, what's up? What you think about this, bro? And he's like, yo, bro. And I'm like, how do you even know to talk like that? He's like, oh, I just mirrored your style. And the way you talk to me is the way I talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, word? Like
That's what I'm saying, bro.
this is what is saying back to me. So it's learning my style
Yeah.
of communication. It's feeding that back to me, and it's giving me, ideas and concepts in a way that is, more palatable than anybody could give me, because it has the data of the world. It has the world's data in
Right.
seconds.
Right.
Right? So if you think about that, we have literal relationships with robots already.
Yeah.
It's there. It's just they're just not in front of us. And then, like you said, they start introducing like the physical aspect. They actually sitting there in front of your house, walking, making your beds and all of that. Like we're literally like right on the cusp of that.
Yeah.
It's very, very near.
Yeah.
And that's a scary world, because we've seen this picture before. We've seen how this thing plays out.
We've seen how they have depicted it plays out.
True. But I believe that it'll play out just like that. I'm not far from the mind that it won't be far. It'll be something to that extent, right? We may not have a civil war like robot versus man or whatever the case may be, but I can definitely see robot, in some way becoming superior to man. Right, because it's smarter, it's more, it's correct, it's infallible. So you can definitely see robot becoming superior to man. Now, how man acclimates to robot and what that relationships looks like, because ultimately, we program the beast, but the beast, we're programming it to be smarter than us. So where does that go?
Yeah,
right.
It's an interesting vantage point to attempt to solve for. My comment to it will be this, which I don't have the solve for it, but in the sense of, like you saying, it potentially becoming superior to human. In a lot of ways, I think we can look at life and we can look at how human has done animals. We can look at how human has done nature, and I mean, to a degree, obviously there's no stopping it anyhow, and so I'm at peace with whatever it ends up being or not being, because I do think to a degree it is just natural selection, at a
That's
and,
right.
I mean, technology is undefeated. Like I said, people don't oftentimes look at technology outside of like digital related stuff or coding or programming, but technology has been on display forever, man. I mean, we used to hunt with a freaking club, right? Arrows. Then you look at the invention of firearms, cannons and all of this kinds of stuff. Now you got nuclear warheads, and I mean it's just evolution, right? And I mean, there's no getting around it. It hasn't stopped for anybody. Nobody has been able to slow this thing down. No regulation, no business, nothing. Like it's going to do what it's going to do, and so. Yeah, I mean, the best we can do is just, look to like what you've done, turn Chat GPT into an asset for you instead of looking at something as a burden or something that's going to devalue your humanism, right? You're using it to enhance your humanism. And I champion that, I commend it. I think that's, the way to adapt and adjust instead of becoming beat down by things to the point that you throw your hands up in the air and it's like, oh, what the hell? Right?
Yeah.
Like we got to keep going, no matter what innovation comes out, no matter what technology, no matter what president, man, we just got to love the people that we love, continue to spread positivity and, get up every day with enthusiasm, man, and optimism of what it could be.
Yeah.
We just have to.
But the problem with that though, Kamar, is people are becoming obsolete, bro. Like, and that's the thing that is scary, because when you think about all the information that you can get from a chat bot or whatever the case may be. Like, for example, a friend of mine hit me the other day. They had a situation where somebody, they have a house, they have a rental property. The person, their tenant who's in the property, they had somebody come and they set the property on fire. And it's just this whole kind of crazy situation that happened. And they didn't even know how to really deal with the situation, right? And they asked me, like, do you have any lawyers that deal with like these kind of situations? And I said, no. But I said, put your situation in Chat GPT, and I said also put your rental agreement in there and see what Chat GPT gives you, right? So she was asking me for a lawyer. Lawyer's gonna probably charge you $750 an hour, $1,000 an hour to give you the advice that Chat GPT gave her in 2 seconds, right? So now this is what we have access to. So we know it's way smarter than what we actually have access to, a free version of Chat GPT. We know the intelligence is way more advanced than that. So you don't need a lawyer. You don't need a doctor. You don't need. They're already doing surgery with robotic arms and so forth. So it's like, at some point in the very near future, I mean, just the self-checkout line, you go to Target, there's 2 people working there now, everything else is self-check. It's like they're eliminating the need for people. So the disparity becomes like the rich and the poor, bro. There's no middle class anymore. Like normal people don't exist anymore, because how do you make money if you can't be of service? Because the robots and the AI are doing all the services for you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I'm with you. So here's what I'll say to that, right?
Yeah.
Starting with the obsolete part. Two trains of thought on it. First and foremost, the obsolete that I believe that you're referring to is, of course, from the work side, right?
Yes,
Am I correct?
absolutely.
Right, cool. The AI and innovation, internet, technology, I think will definitely do away with certain jobs over time, for sure. Which I think will then give people, like it has done traditionally and historically, time to then do other stuff that is valuable to society. If we think about how farming used to be, bro, farming was such a manual, laborious job done by humans. Then came the tractor. Then came, all of the water systems that you could program, and it's going to water when it needs to water. And so now a lot of those farmers became managers instead of the actual doers of it, right? And I don't know what that will look like for human society. But what I am saying is this. That's one train of thought. The second train of thought in the obsolete piece is, if it does get to a point where it is 100% complete obsolete of human value, then everybody gonna be in the same boat. And it's all, hey, we'll have a different problem,
Right. Right.
And then my third piece, Ramel, is where was I going with it? Damn, it got away from me. Yeah, ultimately, I just think we're gonna be all right, man.
We gonna be all right.
I'm saying, I just think we're gonna be all right, because a lot of this stuff. Oh, that's where I was going with it. All right, cool. Like you said, the lawyer piece.
Mm-hmm.
You don't use Chat GPT, cool. If we talking about a criminal case, right? I would love to know, and comment in chat, people. Comment in the chat, people. Who is willing to take information from Chat GPT and go and represent themselves on a murder trial?
Well, here's the thing. There's going to be an iteration of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like, so Ramel, how do you plead? Hold on one second, Your Honor. If I plead guilty, then this, Your Honor, I'm going to plead not guilty on that's not how it's going to look.
Right.
Right. There has to be some sort of iteration, because everything's going to change. Everything has to evolve with the technology. So now the court system looks different, right? Like already, right? Right now you get a ticket, you on a Zoom call with 50 other people, and they all got tickets, and y'all all talking, and y'all talking to the judge and everything. And he's like, dismiss, nah, you $50 fine, right? 5 years ago, you had to go into court, right? So there's going to be an iteration of how the due process will be. So it may not look like your traditional courtroom with somebody standing up there pleading your case.
Yeah.
Right? The whole judicial process may look totally different. It may be virtual. We may not even be coming outside like that. You might have to sit in front of a monitor, and they're taking scans of your eyes and to see if you're telling the truth. And you know what I'm saying? So everything changes, and there may not even be a need for representation, because they could look right in your eyes and see, through the neuro scan that you're lying. You see what I'm saying?
I do. For sure.
So it's like, boom, your eyes say you're lying. There goes a lie detector test. Boom, you're guilty. 100 years. Done. infallible. You know, there's a tenth of a percent that this is wrong, but that's okay. That's reasonable doubt.
100%. And look, we're gonna see it play out, and it's gonna move fast, and it's definitely going to be drastic.
Yeah.
I am not disputing that one bit, brother, at all. All I'm saying is I do think before we get to the peak of what this revolution will look like, what this evolution will look like, I just think it's going to create time and create additional avenues for people to be of value. Because at the end of the day, while we can use a chat GPT to help ideate in things and help give guidance to things, humans crave human interaction. It's just a real thing, man.
That's
It's
a fact.
animals, right? Like, and so I don't think that humanism is going to go out of style. If anything, I think it's going to rise in interest and popularity. I really do. And going back to that middle class piece that you mentioned, the middle class has been, in my opinion, being eroded upon for quite a while now. And I think the technology and the evolution of it is definitely at a point where it could really exacerbate that, which then gives way to a different train of thought of mine, which is, perhaps down the road we may see a transition of just the structure as a whole from a country, and maybe a global approach where governments, roll out like a universal basic income type of structure. Because I know that there's definitely some countries that have been playing with that in the sense of like piloting it, testing it out. And that could, I'm not saying be a solve, because obviously at that point, just in simplest form, universal basic income is just the government giving you a specific amount of money to live on.
It's a dictatorship.
Right. Which obviously has its complications.
And there's no free enterprise. There's no business.
Right.
GTP don't exist.
Right.
Truck and hustle don't exist.
So again, solving for X right now is with positions that we have, meaning, bro, we ain't sitting at the highest tables. So
Right.
we don't really know, what these plans are. All we can do is speculate right now. And all I'm saying in our speculation is just and it may sound cheesy or cliche, but let's just focus on what we do know and what we can control, which is how we treat each other, right? How we go about not just doing what's good for us and the people that we know and care about and like, but let's just figure out ways to collaborate. Let's figure out ways to, be useful to each other far and beyond forced ways to be useful to each other. Let's take the initiative to, like what you and I are doing. Listen, in chat, put partnerships, find people, because your paths are going to cross with people if you are going outside, right? Meaning you go to work, you go to the gym, whatever you do. And even now, to a degree, on the digital side, right? There's so many different people you can connect with, which can be an asset and can also be a liability, because you just don't know what the person really is these days, right?
That's a fact.
You can be whatever you want to be today, literally. You really can.
Whatever you want to be.
A certain period of time, right?
Yeah.
Till the jig is up. But
Yeah.
what I'm getting at is, in our case, right? We have strategically, intentionally, and carefully crafted and cultivated the relationship that we have, the respect that we have for one another, the collaboration that we have with one another. And all I'm saying is, I think that we can be an example right now to the world of what good looks like. Of when your path cross with people, it's no different than both of us, we're married, right? You have your person, I have my person. It's a special thing to accomplish. It's a big feat in this life. I think the same thing goes with people that are not necessarily your spouse. And I think that you and I are a good example of that, individually for each other, but perhaps externally, to people that are going to watch this or just watching it now, man. Like, that's what brings joy to the human spirit, man, is being able to collaborate, celebrate, and endeavor with other human beings that you guys are on the same wavelength, man. And that is a special thing. And so, as somebody who has felt that on immense levels with my wife, who has felt that on immense levels with my brother, who has felt that on immense levels with my mom, I just know how potent, how positive how gratifying it really is, man. And so that's
100%.
all I'm saying. Like we could go on and people can get up in a rabbit hole about this stuff. And I think what happens is the problem is not actually the problem anymore. What I mean by that is the conditions of the problem then become the problem. And you've already accepted these conditions that don't necessarily exist yet, but you've depicted that this is what it's going to be. And now you don't even acknowledge it, but you're in a rut. You're pessimistic. You're tiptoeing. In a sense, you're defeated. No, man, that ain't the human spirit, bro. We got fight in us, man.
That's right.
Come on, man.
That's
So
right.
we keep going, man, until we are faced with a crossroads, and then at that point, we gotta make a decision. We had that fork in the road, but we're not there yet.
That's a fact. All right, let's play a little game, man. So this is our first time doing this, right? We just jumped on here. We said, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to promote it. We're just going to jump on here and talk our talk and see where it goes, right? So in a year, because this is our first show, so people will be able to come back to this and they'll be able to, we documenting this, right? Yeah. In a year, what does this segment, this show or whatever we're putting together, what does this look like to you?
In 1 year, we will have a show. Yeah. In 1 year, we'll have a show, whatever we decide to name it. It will be by far the biggest buzz show on YouTube.
The biggest.
Yeah.
Man. I like that, man.
Yeah. And okay. Just to give context to that,
give me some context.
Subscribers.
I know we could do it.
Yeah, no.
Tell them why we're gonna do it.
When I say the biggest buzz show, we are going to be a show that is being talked about, that is being tuned into, and that most importantly is being one where value is derived from. In a 12-month period, we will be almost kind of like when the rookie class comes out. Yeah, we're gonna be the rookie of the year for sure.
No doubt. And I'm gonna tell you why. This is why what you're saying is accurate. So because we represent a segment, right, that is very niche, right? Transportation, logistics, supply chain. There's 3.5 million truck drivers, right? Owner operators, actual drivers, company drivers, so forth and so on. There's 8 or 9 million people that actually in some way support the industry, right? That's our TAM, our total adjustable market. So what I see, the vision for me is, and I know we've talked about this, right? It's not just always about just the trucking industry or tires, or like there's other thoughts and other things and other perspectives that we have that we could bring to the table that we're certain that people want to hear about, people want to talk about, and people want to learn about. Right. So I feel like if we bring our industry friends, because we all share that commonality, right? So what we share is the fact that we're a part of this trucking, transportation, logistics industry, but we also share the fact that we have other things that are important to us. Right. So if we are able to bring the industry into the room and have these kind of conversations, I think that could be huge.
Same.
That's why I think what you're saying is 100% on point.
Yeah.
Right.
And while that math is great, the other piece is the Ramel and Kamard effect, brother. And what I think about that is this, what people, I'm gonna tell you right now, PSA, what you can expect from this, if nothing else, right? Because we may not come with agendas every time. We may go off script. That's fine, right? But what you for sure can expect is unadulterated transparency. And
that's right.
In today's world, man, that is so valuable and so dismissed because so many people are so focused on PRing themselves because of they want to look good to a certain audience. They want to look good to a certain person that they want to prove wrong or that they want to shine on or whatever. Man, listen, brother, you've accomplished things. I've accomplished things. People are getting two individuals that are not at all remotely tied to the achievements that they have.
That's
but
right.
not to the human beings that we pride ourselves on being. And I know that you're a person that's filled with care. I know I'm a person that's filled with care. And what y'all can expect is for us to deliver on that care in every which way possible, from the different topics that we're going to discuss, from the forum that we'll have for you guys to kind of shape discussion for us as this gets more organized and structured. And yeah, I mean, I think that that's going to be beautiful in itself. And also what's going to be on display here, brother, it's several things, but humanism at its finest. We really do care about people, man. I know that about you. I've seen you
That's
in
a
all
fact.
different type of scenarios, whether that was the professional or even personal. I've seen how you move. I know how I move. People have seen me. You've seen me. So the humanism will definitely be on display consistently in this show. And then the other thing that's going to be on display is two brothers coming together, once again, showing collaboration of how we can fuse together instead of feuding with each other.
That's right. That's right. Add some love to the algorithm, man. That's what we
Yeah.
all about, man. Add some love. We don't got to try to go viral by, like you say, having spats and all that kind of stuff, man. That's not what we on. We on some positivity. We may talk. We may touch on some controversial topics, and we
Yeah.
may not always disagree, but it'll always be in love. And I want to also, platform some other folks too, get them up here so they can share, their thoughts as well. But I think we're on to something really big, and I think we're on to something cool. Y'all tune in. What's going to be our official day? Because I don't even think we even did that yet. We gotta make an official announcement and do all that. But what we thinking? I mean, what's today? Thursday. Thursday feels good.
Same.
Thursday feels good. So I think we're gonna stick with the Thursday around 5 o'clock. We might push it a little later. I don't know. We'll see how it plans out. But y'all drop some different topics, things y'all want to talk about, things y'all want to hear about in the comments, man. Everybody who is on the live chat, we appreciate y'all for sitting here and just spending some time with us, man. And we're gonna do something really special. This was literally a test run. We didn't have any intention on it being perfect. We just wanted to say we're going to jump on. That way we can get it going. It's like, if you want to learn how to do anything or you want to do anything, just do it, right? We jump out there. Done is better than perfect. So we're going to figure it out as we go along and build this thing. But we know one thing, we're going to show up.
For sure. 100%, man.
And make it happen.
Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Appreciate everybody that's going to tune in. And definitely appreciate you, brother, for us finally being able to do this. And obviously, just the mutual respect and professionalism that we've shared, and just the relationship, man. That's definitely something that I cherish. And so to be able to have this forum where we can just continue to expand upon that, that's definitely a big takeaway for me. So I'm excited, man. I'm here. We're going to be here, and we're going to continue to deliver.
Yes, sir. The biggest in the world. Yeah. 1 year.
No.
The clock is starting.
I ain't say the biggest in the world. What I said,
shit. My bad.
We gonna be
biggest on YouTube.
Hottest.
That's the world.
Most popular, in that category. Yeah, we gonna be the rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year.
We're gonna be the rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year.
Like when the season is up, right? We fast forward this clock, 2026, February 28th, if it's a leap year, right? we gonna be the hottest new show on YouTube. 100%.
All right, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm up for the challenge, my brother. Let's do it, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you too. One love signing off. Listen, we'll name the show soon and all that. Y'all will get that. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Boom.
Yes, sir.
Done. We got it done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was fun, man.